It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We are here to make a racket with a tennis player. That's what we are on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. One of the best young tennis players in the world at the moment. The best men's singles player, in my opinion, on any court. If you face Lloyd Harris, you will lose. I'm sorry. And there's no love lost there. Yes, I said love in the context of tennis, because that's what we do here. He's back in SA for just a week, and we figured let's pull him in. The 25-year-old has unfortunately been out of action for the most of the year with a wrist injury, but I feel like it's on track, and I feel like a comeback is coming very, very soon. Lloyd Harris, my friend, welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Yeah.
Well, we had to actually grab you. You know, we heard that you were in town. So we did some stalking and we got you here because that's what we do. We have to. The wrist injury was a great concern. I know you've been really working on it and trying to get back in. So the wrist injury itself, when that happened, you were on a proper high in terms of rankings. How did that knock you, having a wrist injury, and also on that trajectory to getting through the ranking stages?
Yeah, no, it's been a tough journey.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. I mean, I've never had a serious injury like this before. First major surgery.
Yes.
And it was not just a physical battle, but also like dealing with it mentally, knowing you're going to be on the sidelines for a long period of time. You don't know when you're coming back. But I feel like I've made such a mental switch, and I've been so excited and to get back and to work even harder than before. And I've realized so many things in this time, and I've got to do and spend my time in certain ways to get stronger and better in other aspects. So yeah, it's been really difficult with the wrist, but I'm feeling more motivated, more excited than ever to get back out on the tour.
I can tell you're very excited as well. I must say this, and look, I'm not going to fangirl here, but when you beat Nadal, is it the City Open? It was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. It really was, because I love Rafa Nadal, but then when you beat him, I was like, sorry, I mean, that's my South African right there. Cheers, Rafa. But if you look at all these opponents that you've faced off against, and you look at all the young players such as yourself coming through, the sport itself, can you see that change? Some of those stalwarts are leaving the field, Federer's, Nadal and Djokovic are also kind of, pushing, even though Djokovic feels like he's going to be going forever. So for young players getting into tennis these days, is this your time to strike?
100%, 100%. I feel like the tides are turning. I mean, you look at Rafa, you look at Djokovic, okay, they're still at the very top of the game.
Yes.
But less and less of these guys that's a little bit older. If you look at the top 100 now, guys are sneaking in from 18 years old to 22, 3 years old.
That's it.
All of it, all the way through. And it's really turning and changing now. And these guys are playing big tennis, so you got to keep up with, the speed and the agility and everything that they're bringing to the table. But I think it's exciting times for tennis. I think there's going to be a huge change, and I think there's going to be unbelievable players pushing the sport forward.
Well, such as yourself. Don't miss yourself. You're so humble, Lloyd Harris. So humble. But if I look at your recovery period, you've been doing rehabilitation, getting back into the swing of things quite literally past 3 months. Do you have a timeline for us? I mean, when are we going to see you back on those courts?
Yeah, it's been a good 6 months now since post-op.
Yeah.
So we're looking at another month or two. I'm hoping to return for Australian Open. I want to be back.
What?
I want to be back in January. I want to be back competing. Everything's been going well. I think we still have 1 or 2 more hurdles to just get over.
Naturally.
But I'm back in full training. I'm working hard. The fitness is looking great. So I'm hoping to come out strong in Jan.
You will. I can tell by your energy is very, very good. And I think that's always a good contributor to a great comeback, which will happen at the Australian Open. We're going to put that into the universe.
There we go.
If you look at all the opponents that you've faced, and you look at, let's just say, the Australian Open, are there any opponents that you look forward to taking on? Maybe on a personality level, maybe on a level of what happens after the match. Are there any favorites in terms of opponents that you'd like to go into a game with, and it's going to be something special?
I mean, for me, I would love to make a run in Australian Open, and then if I could meet someone deep into the event, like maybe Alcaraz, #1 in the world right now, up and coming.
Yeah.
Or someone I haven't played at the top, which has been around, is Novak Djokovic. I mean, for me, those two, either or, I would love to have an epic battle with them in Australia. I think that would be like the ideal story, making a run, playing one of those, hopefully taking them out. I mean, for me, that sounds like kind of a dream.
That sounds like fun.
It does.
That's awesome.
It sounds exciting for me, honestly. But so if I have to speak something into existence,
Let's do it.
I would love that. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna call it Aussie Open. Lloyd Harris Djokovic in the latter stages of that tournament. I'm saying it now on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Note the date and time. I've got this man. All right. Simple. But now we look forward. We look to the excitement of 2023 in that season. You coming back is always good. But when it comes to you, obviously you want to get other young players into the sport, and I know that there are many who look to you and say, you know, Lloyd Harris is doing it, so can I. So I'd love to offer this opportunity. If there are tennis players that are on the rise, you've made a recovery because of your discipline and what you've done to get to the top of your game. So for the young tennis players who are, let's just say, playing school level now, trying to join the clubs and try to get to your level, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, I mean, if I just think back on my journey,
Yes.
I mean, tennis is a long road. You know, you gotta make sure you still have the enjoyment in the sport. You gotta always stay, you know, true to the sport, because I feel like you don't want to get burnt out, especially if you're trying to take on a sport like tennis and play that like on a high level. But you got to work hard, you got to enjoy, and you got to put in that little extra bit if you want to make it into any specific sport or any given sport. I think the professional athletes that does come out on top is the ones that just had that, you know, that little extra, that little bit more motivation, that little bit more wow factor. So yeah, you're the one that's got to go out and look for that.
This is fantastic. And you got advice straight from Lloyd Harris. So I hope that motivates you to go out there and make a proper racket in your career. You're welcome. I did it again. But Lloyd Harris, we love what you do. We love the fact that you are going to get back onto the court very, very soon. Australian Open, Djokovic, Harris, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, we're speaking it into existence right now.
There we go,
Absolutely.
Just like that. Now that we've chatted tennis, I feel like we could do with some food, which is also very good. Nutrition's lovely, so is delicious treats like this.